What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some more cards from EX2 to talk about. Now, we did look at some first reveals from EX2 the other day, once it came around in magazines. Well, it turns out that it just keeps coming. We've got more reveals of a poster this time, of all things, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is really kind of cool. The other day I showed you a Wargrowlmon, and I showed you a Digimon, and I told you that this entire line was going to end up being in the set. Well, wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. It totally is going to end up being in the set. It has now gone and been confirmed and everything, which is frankly rather lovely. Now, our translations here come from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. And just as a quick reminder, the other day we saw a Digimon that when you played it, you revealed the top 4 cards of your deck, and you added a card with Wargrowlmon or Wargrowlmon in its name, and a Takato Matsuki to your hand. And then it had an inheritable skill. When you are attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Wargrowlmon or Wargrowlmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 power or less. We then also saw a Wargrowlmon, shout out to the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev for the translated proxies. We saw a Wargrowlmon here as well, that's got an extra 2,000 power on your turn. And on your turn, while you have a red tamer, the maximum power of your effects that delete Digimon increases by 2. And then when you are attacking, you choose any number of your opponent's Digimon up to 6,000 power total and delete them. Of course, it's 8,000 if you've got a red tamer in play. So with all of that borne in mind, let's take a look at the rest of the line, starting with this lovely new Digimon. And what we've got here is one inheritable skill, as we see on level 2s. When you are attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Digimon, Wargrowlmon or Wargrowlmon in its name, draw a card. And I make this point a lot, because it is a point that needs to be made a lot. Digimon is not a game that has a lot of draw power. So even though this is, drawing once per turn if this Digimon survives and all of that, actually, if I'm playing a Wargrowlmon deck, I adore this. This just became a tamer of choice. And obviously, outside of a Wargrowlmon deck, it's pointless. Completely and utterly pointless. But inside of a Wargrowlmon deck, this is brilliant. Because I'm going to be drawing cards now throughout the game. And if I've got 4 of these, and they all fire occasionally, then over the course of the game, I'm going to be actually drawing a whole bunch more extra cards, and that is going to be a big deal. Over the course of the game, I'm going to end up with a lot more cards, which means I'm going to end up drawing into what I want a lot more, which means my level 5s and 6s are going to come out a lot more easily, my tech cards are going to come out a lot more easily, etc. This is pretty big, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty big. Now moving over into the level 4, we have got ourselves a Wargrowlmon here, and we've got a 6 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. I will say that is expensive to play a level 4. Power's quite nice, 2 cost to Digivolve is standard, 6 cost to play normally on a level 4, that is pretty expensive. However, when you are attacking, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2,000 power or less. If you have a red tamer, you can delete a Digimon with 4,000 power or less instead. But then remember, if you've got Wargrowlmon, that will actually go up to 6,000. So you attack with his level 4, you delete a Digimon with 6,000 power or less. But you've only got 5,000 power, so if you're attacking into the stack, you're probably expecting to get deleted. So you've got to try and attack a suspended Digimon, which becomes a little more awkward. If you can get this working, if you can attack while surviving, I love this. I love being able to take out my opponent's Digimon as I'm rolling. This is awesome. But please do bear in mind that it's an attacking skill on a Digimon who, to be a little bit blunt, is really not a Digimon with whom you should be attacking all that often. But you do have an inheritable skill as well, also when you are attacking, but with the Digimon that has Digivolved from it, once per turn, when this Digimon has Wargrowlmon or Wargrowlmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 power or lower. So they basically split the difference on the when attacking skill on the Wargrowlmon itself. Worth pointing out, of course, if you've got a Wargrowlmon in play, or indeed, if this is a Wargrowlmon, then all of a sudden, it's actually 5,000 power or less. Because remember, this only works if you've got Wargrowlmon or Wargrowlmon in your name. And if this is a Gallantmon, then you get the extra 2,000, assuming it's the right Gallantmon, which you'd like to think it would be. That's kind of the whole point of playing this line. And yeah, this is one of those ones that starts adding up really quickly. And the whole evolution line here, it's doing a very obvious thing, right? They're not exactly hiding their intentions. The entire point here is they are running around trying to delete Digimon and trying to make sure that those skills that delete Digimon are a little bit better than they would otherwise be. And in that regard, yeah, this is really cool. Is it perfect? No, obviously not. But the whole line here has clearly got a plan. And it's all working together. And when this plan works, you're going to be really wrecking your opponent's board. They're going to have a very, very difficult time keeping small Digimon on the field. And obviously, if it's something like Rookie Rush that really relies on small Digimon, you are just going to absolutely wreck them from the beginning of the game. It's a cool inheritable skill. This entire deck pretty much relies around having Gallantmon out, and I do worry that these skills are slightly underwhelming until you're getting the boost from Gallantmon. But if you're playing this kind of deck, this has a really nice static skill and a really nice inheritable skill to go along with it, and that's kind of awesome. Now, Wargrowlmon comes in as a final one today. 8 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 8,000 power. The 3 cost to Digivolve is standard, the others are slightly higher than we would expect. Nothing major. And when you are attacking, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 power or less. But if you have a red tamer in play, you can delete a Digimon with 6,000 power or less instead. And of course then, if you have a Gallantmon in play, one of the ones from this EX2 set, you will be able to delete a Digimon with 8,000 power or less. Which is kind of ridiculous. 8,000 power or less, you're talking pretty much, with a few rare exceptions, level 5s and below. Any level 5 and below, you will be able to take out. That's a little bit ridiculous. It basically means that every time you're attacking, you're just wrecking your opponent's board. But remember, if you Digivolve Growlmon into Wargrowlmon, and indeed, let's say you start off with Geomon, well, I'm attacking, at which point, not for nothing. Let's say I've gone all the way up to Gallantmon, right? Well, when I'm attacking, Digimon is going to let me draw a card, which is great. Geomon is then going to allow me to delete a Digimon with 5,000 power or less. Growlmon, with the inheritable skill, Growlmon is going to let me delete a Digimon with 5,000 power or less. And Wargrowlmon is going to let me delete a Digimon with 8,000 power or less. Obviously, I'm also assuming you've got a red tamer in play because the deck is going to be built around that. That is going to be crippling for your opponent. That is 3 Digimon being deleted. Oh yeah, and you get to draw a card as well, which is going to help with your consistency. That's redonk, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely redonk. Now, there is actually an inheritable skill as well here. On your turn, increase the DP limit of deletion by 1,000. So, it's not just a 2,000 boost you get from Gallantmon, but actually if you've Digivolved your Wargrowlmon into Gallantmon, or indeed into anything, then it's not actually an extra 2,000, it's an extra 3,000. And if you've got multiple Wargrowlmon, it's not an extra 3,000, it's an extra 4, 5, 6,000. That's my point here. And this really does seem like the kind of thing you've got to commit to. Not the kind of thing you can just tech these cards in. This is basically making a deck in and of itself. Now, Digimon, brilliant. Any Gallantmon line, either here or that we've seen in the past or that we will see in the future, yeah, that's going to work beautifully for the draw power. That's brilliant. But I think the rest of them, they are designed to work together clearly, and I think they're at their best when they work together. It's using all of those Digimon. And to be fair, when I was giving you the example earlier, I forgot to actually mention that when you are attacking with Gallantmon, you can delete a bunch of Digimon with a total power of 6,000 or less. So if you're attacking with Gallantmon, it's all of the ones that you would get from Gallantmon itself, plus one of... Well, let's assume we've only got one Wargrowlmon inheritable skill working. You've got your Growlmon inheritable skill, which is going to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with, at this stage, 6,000 or lower, and your Geomon, which is going to delete one with 6,000 or lower, plus your attack with Gallantmon. It's just ridiculous. I love this. I think you've got to play it as its own thing. I don't think you've got the luxury of, really mixing and matching that much, and I don't think it particularly cares. This is good, and I like it. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.